Hi guys. So today will be like say how would you feel if your performance is not up to the mark, or you don't think that this is something which has been done perfectly. So please take a look at my screen. Just a minute guys. Dogs. Sorry about that. So what to do when you think your performance review is wrong? What happens is like say it has been a usual thing for me. Your expectation is something and you don't get what you have expected. You have worked hard and somebody has kept some grudge, has kept something in their mind which they didn't share the entire year. They had formed one opinion. They have actually um, expressed that time and again. Maybe something which has been habitual with you, and they have taken that exercise, that excuse to give you a low scoring. So you feel dejected, cheated, disappointed. How about that? So, can you see? But you need to be prepared against that possibility because it happens so many times and so frequently at workplaces. How do you handle that? So the other day, I was listening to Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar ji, and he was saying there are six ways of having wealth. One of them which has stuck to my heart is how to be thick skinned against any negative feeling. How relevant it is for workplace. If you are thick skinned at what people are saying, thick skinned means you are not only ignoring what people are saying, but also you are not thinking negative about that. What are you thinking is this is a learning experience. People are repeatedly asking or expressing something which you should pay attention to. I'm not saying that you will be paying attention to at the cost of your self respect. What I'm saying, to evaluate yourself whether there is any element, any substance in that kind of expression. Sometimes, and most of the times, to be honest, people put you down. If you allow them to put you down, you have to have some kind of self respect, strength in you, so that people don't, cannot actually um, put you down, right? So uh, so uh, allow that thing to happen. It is a regular thing that will be happening. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm back. you know Let me get into that one. So it has been a pain point for many of you, which is why this has been a pain point with me all along. You know, the moment you think that the other person is there, who might have a negative thing about you, or who will not evaluate you properly, that is the point when uh, you need to think about alternatives, not about getting out of there, but you have to redesign yourself, redesign your personality. Redesign in what sense? You will not allow those people to dictate you terms. What can you do is you have to um, you have to design your own portfolio. See, the portfolio will not change. In my case, what happens is I am a person who looks for problematic area and resolves that, streamlines that, and puts a system around that so that it becomes the next person who comes in, he or she gets a system to work on. It is all streamlined, all well pronounced, spelled out properly. Everything he or she wants a reference to, it is all laid down there. Now, once you are done with it, for me, it becomes a routine work. The ideal roadmap for a leader is to streamline everything and hand over this to the next category of people, your juniors. And you move on towards something, redesigning or moving on to another challenge. That is what a leader does. And that is what's supposed to be my case. That has all along happened. So the moment it becomes routine, even if I get attached to that whole system, the system gets taken from me and is given to somebody. So the system, I have been so lucky that it has been taken automatically, and I'm given a new portfolio where I do new innovation, new streamlining, and something challenging which satisfies me. Don't you think that that is immense, amazing, and very fruitful? Don't you think? So, if that is so, then put yourself in that particular stage. Put yourself in that particular stage. How are you feeling? How are you feeling when you get everything that is very challenging, very satisfying, and very productive, and it gives you immense fulfillment and happiness and peace of mind, and it brings out your creativity, and you look forward to another day in your life? Do you think that? You think that to be a blessing in your life? So you are a blessed person. I am a blessed person. Can you can you make yourself a blessed person too? You can. It is very, 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 very easy, right? But what happens? We get attached to and we get affected by negativity around. So when somebody tries to kind of poke their nose into our peace of mind, then we also get affected. So that is where the mental discipline, emotional discipline comes. In that discipline, you need to be prepared against that possibility. Whenever that happens in your life, in your workplace, anywhere, you need to get ready for that, right? So, immediately, right now, what will you do? Cross check. Cross check, check your performance sheet, because right now, immediately, your performance evaluation has been done, and you see that it has not been done properly. Now, what you do? How are you prepared, and how have you done your evaluation? there is two aspect to a performance evaluation, right? One is part one is you self evaluate. Part two is your manager evaluate your evaluation. So first of all, they circulate a form, evaluation form, in which your established KRAs, key result areas were outlined, and you have to self-evaluate and then give it to them. Usually, it doesn't call for lot of description. Lot of description is not allowed in that form. But suppose you are quantifying, say out of 10, you are giving yourself 6 or 8 or whatever. There must be a reason why you are allocating yourself, giving yourself 6 or 8 or 7, 4, whatever. What is that basis? That is what I'm talking about. Cross check with that. Are they effective, legitimate, and authentic? If those are so, then you always have very strong proof, strong substance to go and cross check with your senior also, your reporting officer who has evaluated you wrongly. You can say this has been assigned, allocated, and outlined to be my performance area. I have done exactly that and more than that. How can you now give lower than what I expected? So that your manager, and don't expect that your manager will understand in the first go, second go, or third go. Even if you try explaining him, he has his own compulsion, you know. So you you don't expect. Again, I say expect nothing, but you have to be very firm with whatever you are saying, with evidence, because you have that data. That is the first thing you do. The second thing is inquire. See what happens. There are different categories of exceeding expectation. So if you do this, then your expectation. Suppose you score more than 8 out of 10, then you exceed expectation. That is the normal. So you also have given yourself 8 out of 10, but your manager has given you 7, which means it is excellent, but it doesn't exceed expectation. Now what? How do you fi- how do you figure out whether he is correct or you are correct? There has to be a question answer session without insulting that person. See, this scaling will be adjusted against other people also. The evaluation doesn't happen just with you, it happens with all the team members. And people who have delivered their own thing in different way, they have been all evaluated on a particular way. And it might so happen that everybody, like percentile happens, right? The 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 maximum score that has been scored, and everybody score out of that. So if suppose it is 90 out of 100 is the maximum score, then the maximum score is assigned to be 90, and then whoever has scored 89, the percentile will be calculated out of 90 rather than 100. Usually it is 89%, so nobody knows how much is the this thing. But when it is calculated as percentile, it shows that how much one person has acquired from the best score that was there. In this way, rather than 89%, this person will score more than 90. Quite possible, right? And that way, the whatever maximum, this is a better way of evaluating people. That has been the method. Now, if that percentile method is applied here, then of course you are not going to get uh, 8 out of 10, because if 9 has been the maximum score that has been there, then if you have given yourself 8, then your percentile will be something else and then converted to 100. And see, these are the mechanisms adopted by senior management to put people on a perspective scale. It is not an actual scale, but it is a perceptional scale, and it has its lacuna. I understand, and you should agree, because sometimes you might be the person who has scored the most, so that time you don't object, right? So you have to accept this kind of process. And why this happens has several reasons beyond that evaluation. It has happened before the evaluation. Somebody has been performing which he is able to establish. Might be you haven't been able to establish that. And there are three kinds of people in this world: people who don't work and say that they have been working. The third quality, they work and they don't say. And the third kind of people is they don't care whether somebody gives them any score or not. Whatever is given, they are okay with that. They don't work, they don't do whatever is given, they are accepting. So which kind of person you are? So if you are by any means, you are the person who has been working very hard but not able to say, not able to establish that you are working hard, then you need to work on yourself. That is what I'll say. Because the person who is not working that much and also establishing himself as the most profuse worker, then that person has the tagline of smart worker. And a smart worker is always preferred to a hard worker, you know. So inquire now at several level what process has been in place to do this thing, and also what kind of person you are. The next is opinion. As I said, opinion is something which is around all the time. It is equivalent to perception. In the workplace scenario, people form opinion all the time. Judgment, it is all the time happening, right? So do you see any ways in which I could be making a more valuable contribution to the team? You can ask. You can ask that question, and you are very right in asking that question. But just a minute, guys. But it is again the um, opinion of somebody else. You might be already doing something, or you are trying to put yourself into the proactive situation. According, you want to mold yourself according to the expectation of the team. So at the present moment, I am trying to be up to the mark of the expectation of other people. And why I am doing so? Because I can do. But what do you think about yourself? What opinion you have for yourself? It is not very easy to play up to others expectation. It is never easy. But if you are a very strong minded person, you are a very capable kind of a person, no matter what situation they put you in, you will be delivering all the time. And that is that is something which people are afraid of. If the senior person is not able to play up to the level you are playing up, then that person is not going to like you. So if you are very positive person, what I'll suggest is tell him how that person will benefit when you do this thing correctly. So for example, this person now I'm working with, this person is supposed to be my boss, he is not my boss, but there is an arrangement in our organization where people work in groups. So this person is supposed to be supervising me. So supervising means he micromanages me. Now this is not a very pleasant situation, but how I have transformed this situation is I have always, I every day I give him a dream, let us do this way, so that it will be maximum productive, and he knows that if we can do this way, the way I am suggesting, then he will be achieving lot, and that will give him lot of power. So he actually plays up to whatever I am proposing. You can do the same. Always give a winning proposition to your senior person or the person you are working with, so that he stops making trouble to you, stops being troublesome to you, right? The next is, when nothing works, of course, ultimately you should take the choice of leaving everything and doing whatever you like. When you take this decision, normally what happens, this is exactly what you always wanted, right? I am not asking you to be misbehaving towards anybody. You have to be peaceful within yourself. Whatever work you have been given, you should be okay with that. No competition, no comparison with anybody. Go ahead and do whatever your portfolio has been. Don't try to make most of it. Don't try to innovate around this, because no matter what you do, it is going to be good for another person and it will sabotage you. If that is the case, then what use giving your effort towards that? Rather than you can divert your time in doing something you are good at. So that is what I mean by abandon. Leave that, leave all comparison, leave all concern about the portfolio where you are micromanaged. Do whatever you are doing, you are good at. Try to delegate as much. Say okay, because the other person is not interested in whatever good you are doing. So tell him two, three things you just have to devise, right? You have to keep saying, you are so good, you are so good at, can you help me with this? So no, everybody whether he is a person insecure about you, loves you, doesn't love you, if you tell like this, can you give your opinion how I should do this, so he feels superior. So give him that feeling, give her that feeling, and do your work. This is what abandon or detachment, what I am meaning. Appreciate. So so this should happen in phases, right? So once you have it, all the strategies that I am saying, it should not be randomly here, there, everywhere. You have to try one strategy, establish your credibility in that particular strategy to some extent, then try the second one in phase number 2. Then in the third phase, you abandon, because nobody, if you try behaving in several of these phases, what happens is nobody will figure out what you are thinking. So don't allow people entry to your mind space, and then you start appreciating whatever good you see. You say it is so good, you have learned so much. Actually you can learn from anybody, anywhere, from anything. And even if you don't learn, you just relearn. Try to tell people around that this is something you have learned anew, right? And tell the people that they have been great, right? So this is when you wake up. Wake up means you know that you have a power which you didn't know beforehand. You didn't utilize it, now you are utilizing. When you appreciate people, see how good they feel. And this should not be very shallow. It should come from depth. You should always be logical as to why you are appreciating, right? So this is an art, and it takes time, and it takes a mindset to master. As I said, this will be the ultimate path that you are doing, the growth path. No competition, no comparison. You do every day 1% development, improvement in whatever you have learned, and go on improving on that, right? So that is the growth path. Motivation tip. What has influenced this score? Something other than you. So the same reason that has given you low score, you should utilize the same thing, same reason as your motivation tip. For example, somebody tells that you are not very good, you are not paying attention to details. It is a big comment, you know. It can lower your performance score substantially. That has been the thing, because I always love innovation. I love new things. I'm not at all interested in anything routine, but that doesn't mean that your work will be completely innovative and no routine work. It has to be a mixture of innovation, process, routine, and everything. So when that is so, and you don't particularly enjoy any routine work, then what you need to do is you have to find some automation way, some automation. Task number one done, then task number two. Task number two half done, task number three should start. Task number three halfway done, task number two should have been finished. So if you have put these kind of indicators for yourself, you will start enjoying even routine work, because there is this brain involved, you know. Unless one task is somewhat accomplished, the other task cannot begin. Or even if it has been completed, if some task is still halfway done, then it is not done. That is what the least distance method is applied, right? The least distance. In that, you don't have to attend to all the tasks yourself, still it gets done. So think about that. Give yourself a little bit of thought. How are you feeling? Find out those track, those roadmaps, those segments which can be assigned, allocated to another person. So if you have to take pen and paper, right? Pen and paper and draw. If even if you are not able to draw the entire session from end to end, you can draw for the next 7 days. And whenever your performance is low, don't rush. Don't rush. You have to be very, very slow, but ensure that the other person understands your value, your input, and the weight of whatever you are saying. That is very important. And why, you know, the work in any case is going to be done by the other person who has scored the most, because he has that motivation, he has been promoted, or he has been um, uh, applauded, recognized, right? So, what is your work now? Your work is to consolidate. So, be on that stage, and consolidation is never about speed, it is always about going slowly, steadily, and establishing the process uh, solidly. Understand? So that is what you do. That should be your motivation. And in that process, you will learn to perfect something that you have been doing. Sometimes what happens, everything is okay, but because you are not able to present something in front of 10 people or 100 people, or in a presentation your documentation skill is not good, your data management skill is not good, something like that, if that happens, it is a clear indicator that your personality needs improvement. You improve on that, and it doesn't take, I can tell you, you don't have to be fluent in English. You have to be watching your emotions all the time. When you speak warmly. You should not appear like a robot or an idiot. Some people are robotically idiot. Their voice is such. But it is not usually so. If you see and listen to their voice modulation, at some time it is quite warm. But when they are being asked something, they kind of respond in a very funny way. So if you are that person, somehow, because of some prior experience in your life or something, then this is the time to improve your personality to appear friendly, very warm, responsive, proactive, respectful. Detachment, no matter what. Can you figure out? Everybody is saying something negative about you. There was a time when I was doing something which was which was the right thing to do at that moment, but not everybody was able to understand, and that also put me into doubt at times. Nobody is appreciating this. No money has come for this kind of work. Still, I am investing my times. Am I doing right? So many times this question might have occurred to you, still might have been coming to you. If this is the situation, do what is the right step. You don't have to listen to other people because you cannot manage. Those are the situations when you have to stick to your integrity. You have to stick to whatever is right, and it is not easy, not easy. I see, you will be doing something and people will be smiling in with sarcastically. They will be passing on comment which will be sarcastic. If those are the situations happening, and you were doing something very correct, then you should adhere to that. And amidst such sarcasm, it puts in a lot of self doubt, I tell you. But you know, you don't think about the present right now. You have to think about long term. When you think long term, there is a vision. You have to analyze your vision statement of the organization. If it matches with that vision statement, ultimately, it meets the vision statement, whatever you are doing, it is part of that vision statement. It has to be done right now in that manner. Then you are on the right track, right? Do that. And silent rebel. Ahimsa, non cooperation. You are not hating anybody, you are smiling at everybody, but you don't accept. You are not part of them. They cannot take you for granted. That is what I mean by being a silent rebel. You have to put your foot down the moment they started taking advantage of you. Put yourself in that category. And the entire thing that I have explained today, it is a pain that happens, but it also requires lot of strength inside us. Unless you show strength, even if you want to do something good, it will not be allowed. You will not be allowed to do that. So the first thing is you have to show your strength, right? You have to show your strength. So try to show your strength at workplace. Do it rightly. Even if your performance is not good this year, you haven't been evaluated well enough this year. Still, you will achieve a lot as a human being, as a person, and you will grow. You will establish your own portfolio. So, if you like this video, then please subscribe to the channel, comment whether you would like the second and third thing about this, third episode about this. You have any particular question, then ask this question also. And I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.